Hey guys, how's it going? It's Douglas here at Drownboy Productions, bringing you another Screaming Ghostface video. Now, usually on the channel, we're taking a look at either the newest Ghostface masks or the nicest vintage Ghostface masks. However, last video we talked about the nicest or closest to an original quality bootleg that's ever been made. Well, today's video we're going to be talking about the worst quality bootlegs that have ever been released. Or I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be the worst, it could just be the most interesting, but most of these are pretty bad. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into this doo-doo. Yes, starting things off with a true classic. This is Dr. Tom's Fancy Dress Accessories Ghostface Bootleg Mask. These have been around in the community for years and years, and every year or so someone pops up with one of these asking if this is a genuine RDS or some sort of bootleg or factory defect, but nope, it seems to be either just a complete recast or just a really well done sculpted knockoff. And even though they went to the extent of producing these with cotton shrouds and producing them with a sculpt that is pretty damn close to the original Ghostface mask, for whatever reason they still decided to leave the separate nostrils, and also, for some versions of these, they actually painted a red tongue near the vent hole at the top of the mouth. Very strange. Ugh. Here we have another classic that's been in the community for years. These were packaged with the original Scandinavian releases of the Scream trilogy, so if you bought the box set with 1, 2, and 3, it's advertised that it comes with a mask. And I imagine the expression on the mask perfectly captured how people felt when they opened up the box to see this instead of the mask from the actual film box set they just bought. Ooh, here we have yet again another bootleg that's been around for years and years. These were produced by Forum Novelties back in the day through Disguise, and they had them not only in an opaque plastic like you have here with this white and black paint job, but they also had them in a translucent and black paint job. Oddly enough, the translucent ones are actually pretty cool looking. Don't like the white ones as much, but the interesting history here is if you look at the shape of this, it would appear that they actually did use an original Fun World Div sculpt to make these masks. And if you take a closer look at the tag stating glow-in-the-dark spooky ghost mask, you'll see an image of not only the Weeping Ghost, or Ghostface as he's been known, but also the Goofy Ghost, or Sarah Spook. They actually did produce both of those style masks, but from what I've seen, they never produced any of the other ghosts in the line, so somehow they must have got a hold of these original molds. Now these kind of bootlegs are the most painful to me. They're not unique interpretations of the mask that are clearly trying to escape that copyright infringement, but these are just direct copies of pre-existing Fun World masks that are slightly, and I do mean slightly, changed, and not for the better. I'm sure many of you out there have also seen these polluting eBay for years and years, but this one in particular was quite odd for me, because most of these bootlegs decide for whatever reason to add the "what's up" tongue to masks that absolutely don't need it. However, most of them use a plastic tongue to achieve this. This here looks to be just like a thin piece of paper, like possibly wax paper. It may not even be that thick. Where it's attaching to the mouth is actually translucent, and it has no definition, so it's just completely pointless. It would look better without it. Why am I wasting my life debating whether these terrible bootleg masks should be made to look better? Anyways, moving right along. Oh no, I'm gonna see this in my nightmares. So here we have a Scary Movie bootleg mask, but for whatever reason, they made him look really pervy. Something about those wide, staring eyes with that tongue sticking out. It makes you scared, but not for the intended reasons. I don't want to look at it anymore. Oh no, why do they do this? Oh, this is bad. So guys, the only thing worse than just terrible, horrible knockoffs of standard Ghostface masks, whether they're done in vinyl or plastic, are knockoffs of the bleeding masks. I mean, come on, just hear me out for a second here, guys. How many of you out there, like myself, owned a bleeding mask when you were a kid, and constantly pumped and pumped and pumped that heart till either something popped loose and it sprung a leak, or just somewhere along the mask, the surface of that second layer started coming unlaminated, and then the mask leaked blood everywhere and caused stains. So if that's happening on the good version of this product, why on earth would you want to buy a horrible knockoff version that you know is gonna leak? You know it's gonna leak, probably the first time you put blood in it too. And they can't even be asked to portray the characters correctly anyway. Just why? Who's buying this? Who's supporting this? Now this is how you make a bootleg, guys. This is cool. See, it's absolutely, clearly not supposed to be the original masks from the original molds. They're not even close, but they're kind of terrible caricatures of those looks. And to be honest, it kind of works. It's so assy and weird looking that I think that this actually could have worked in Scary Movie. And look at that, they even went through the effort of making sure that this thing could glow in the dark. These are actually pretty cool, but my favorite one's gotta be that Smiley. He just looks so fucking methed up. Great barnacles! Look at this thing! Why does it look like you took a plastic bag, pulled it over your head, hit it with a heat gun, and then spray painted your eyes and mouth? I don't like it. Now this is the perfect palette cleanser. This is one of the better looking bootleg Ghostface masks I've ever seen. Most of them try to go out of their way to avoid looking like a genuine Ghostface mask to avoid that copyright infringement. These guys, though, they definitely got a little too close. And even though it's Vacuform, in my opinion, this probably looks the closest to the actual shape of a Ghostface mask out of any of these. The one weird decision that they decided to go with here was cutting a vertical slit in the mouth, so I guess in case you want to eat pennies while you're trick-or-treating? Or quarters, who the hell am I to judge? Okay. I know it's cliche to ask why the long face, but seriously, why the long face? This looks more like a distortion of the artwork, the Scream, than a mask from a movie called Scream. Oh no. Wait a minute. Did someone take the mouth from the previous mask, like the whole bottom half section, and then bootleg that and make their own version? Because this version has like slightly different eyes, and of course, he has a cleft lip. I can't say that I've ever seen a Ghostface with a cleft lip, but I mean, if you're looking for equal representation, there you go. Ah yes, these are classic bootlegs indeed. I think this version in particular is actually a large plastic version. Maybe, maybe not. But it actually kind of resembles the Shriek mask a little bit more so than a Ghostface mask, just with the shape of the mouth and how wide and bulky the face is. But they couldn't even be bothered to paint the nose on this one, are you kidding me? And the next one here is not only the same exact sculpt, but I actually do have one of these hanging in my living room. And these actually are a vinyl mask. They're very interesting, definitely large, kind of, yet again, really reminiscent of the Shriek mask, but for whatever reason, for this version, they decided to highlight it with green, which we've never seen that on a Ghostface mask, but it kind of gives the illusion that it's glowing, kind of, even though it's not glowing. But still, I gotta give them props where props are due, and at least, not only did they paint the nose on this one, but it looks like there's also some eye mesh in this one too. Oh! Ugh. This one, that was bad. Why does it look like someone had 30 minutes total to sculpt, mold, and paint this thing? I know that that's literally impossible, but it looks like you took as little time as possible to make this thing. I can't really tell because the quality of the picture is so trash, but it actually kind of looks like this has one of those higher quality plush hoods that Don Post would use, like on their witches or whatever it may be. Why? On this mask, why? Guys, I know we all love that beautiful crescent shape of a Ghostface mouth, but this is taking it just a bit too far. Why does it look so strange? It actually looks like a creature. It doesn't look like a ghost. It doesn't look like it's trying to be a ghost of any kind. It just looks like some weird skinwalker type thing. I don't know. I will say though, the look in this model's eyes does look to be that of true genuine fear. Maybe the artist was the model and they were looking into the camera and realizing what a horrible monstrosity they have created. Moving right along, here we have an I've been staring at this for a while and I just have no words. All I can really say is this mask is so bad that whoever decided to model this thing went to the extra effort of blurring out their eyes because there's no eye mesh to hide their eyes, and they were so worried that you might be able to tell who they are that they, yet again, went to the lengths of blurring this. And it also looks like there may have been something removed from the shirt, because on the sleeve here it says blank is a college graduate, so whoever it is, at least they graduated college. Oh, here we have another notorious bootleg. This is what has been known as the Greek bootleg because I think it has some Greek lettering on it, or maybe it just originates from Greece. These have been found on tags as such, and of course the mask here, while looking pretty similar to a Ghostface mask, really looks strange. It absolutely does not feel like it would fit into the lineup with any of the other Ghostface masks, and that's coming from a company that had multiple factories in China producing multiple sculpts for their one character. So out of all these different variants amongst Ghostface masks, this still looks like a bootleg, even though it's probably the most similar to an actual Fun World mask, other than the most recent knockoff we've taken a look at. I will give some credit on the tag. The tag looks pretty interesting, using the purple background with bats and the moon, like the ASIS or Fearsome Faces era, is pretty cool. The image, however, was a very peculiar choice, because there's no Fun World tag that has an image like this, pretty much. And beyond that, the As Seen in the Motion Picture Scream little block here, the ASIS block as we call it, looks terrible. That's clearly not the real Scream fonts. It's probably the coolest bootleg that we've taken a look at, but also, unfortunately, a lot of people have been scammed by these because they thought that they were legitimate Fun World pieces. So if any of you out there happen to see one of these in the wild, just know that it is a bootleg. Next up, we have the Absolute Evil Ghost Mask with Dagger, and wow, the only evil I'm seeing here is this copyright infringement. This guy can't be evil. Come on, look at him. He's too cute with his little rounded off eyes and little rounded off nose and his oval rounded off mouth. Seriously, there's really nothing threatening about this Ghostface mask at all. It's actually one of the, like, softer, I guess, kind of kawaii looking Ghostface masks. Oh no. And here we have the opposite end of the spectrum. The last two masks look kind of convincingly like they could be real Fun World pieces, but this? What did you do here? It's like someone unshrouded in ultra white, then slapped a bunch of clay around the edges, molded it, casted it in the thinnest balloon latex possible, and then painted it terribly. Like seriously, what is it with these places using extra steps to make these pieces worse? Like if you had just painted in the eyes, nose, and mouth and didn't do all this weird shadowing around the face, it would kind of look like a normal Ghostface mask. Kind of. Oh, look at that, it's tagged. Let's take a closer look at that tag. Horribly Happy Halloween Scary Mask. Horribly happy? He doesn't look to be too happy. He does look pretty horrible though, I will give you that. This next bootleg looks like someone was instructed to sculpt a Scream mask, and they had never heard of the movie Scream and had only seen the artwork Scream. I mean seriously, Ghostface has got some pretty intense Momo eyes going on. Well, would you look at that, the people that made the previous mask also decided to do a bleeding eyes version, which coincidentally enough is exactly how I feel after looking at all these bootleg masks. Now this is one of the strangest looking ones we've seen so far. It kind of looks like a ghost, it kind of looks like it should be a ghost face, but at the same time, it looks like maybe they were going for an alien character as well? I can't tell if it's supposed to be a ghost or an alien. It does have some blue shading around the eyes and the lips, and I mean, I guess just all over the face, but the real draw here is those absolutely piercing thriller eyes. Ah yes, the geometric abstract Ghostface. This is truly a piece of art. I'll be honest with you guys, I can't tell if this was made by someone under the age of 10 or over the age of 30, but regardless, it's still a piece of art. Guys, I finally did it! I found him! It's Scream. And last but not least, here we have not just a bootleg mask, but a whole bootleg costume. We have the Hauling Ghoul. Hauling Ghoul! What's he hauling? Well, of course, besides all that money to the bank. This is an interesting one because, as some of you guys may know, one of my favorite parts about going to costume shops or Halloween stores is looking at all of the copyright infringement characters that they're trying to, like, get around with, and obviously the hilarious looks of these actors dressed in the costumes. This is kind of like that, but for Ghostface. At first I thought the mask was just horribly photoshopped and maybe had something entirely different done to, like, the top part of the eyes, but looking at it again, it actually looks like they just added blue on either side of the eyes, kind of like eyeshadow, I guess? But it just makes the eyes from a distance look massive and piercing like that one fella from earlier. Well guys, there you have it. There's a whole host of terrible, terrible Ghostface knockoffs. Thank you all for joining me on today's video, and if any of you have seen any other horrible, horrible knockoffs that were not listed in this video, please be sure to let me know over on Instagram at Drownboy Productions. Send them to me over there because I always love looking at these for a good laugh, and of course we do archive them just to kind of keep a list of all these different bootlegs and knockoffs floating around. And let me know which knockoff from today's video was your favorite, whether it be because of just how terrible it was or just because you liked the way it looked. let me know in the comments section down below. But I think that about does it for today's video. Love you all, thank you for watching, and see you next time.